Hello and welcome to another lesson in our VBA programming language. And in this lesson, we're going to go ahead and provide the solution to our assignment. Okay. In our previous lessons, we gave an assignment at the end of the tutorial. So in this lesson, we're going to go ahead and provide the solution to the assignment. And also, if you haven't watched our previous tutorials, we have the link in the video description below. You can just check the link and get access to the video tutorials. And make sure you follow from lesson 1 to the last or the final lesson. Okay, so basically that is that. Now if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please just do that and make sure to press the bell icon so that you can receive notifications anytime we upload new tutorials. Okay, so let's quickly delve right into the solution to the assignment. Hello and welcome to another lesson of VBA training, and in this lesson we're going to look at the solution to our assignment. So let's dive right into that. Project 6, can minimize this. Perfect. This is our form. We're going to take data from here and store it here. So first of all, first thing first, I would name my ranges depending upon how you do yours. I don't know, can leave your ranges and still refer to what the default range is: B3, B5, whatever. So that is that. Let's go on. I would name my ranges. So maybe I'll call this F name. Let me put it that way. Say F name. So F name, that is full name. Press enter. So I have my full name here. Then L name, that is last name. Enter. Sorry. Oh shit, that I done. Then here is a L name, that is last name. Enter. And then date of birth, I'll call it D birth. You can name yours the way you want it. And then here I'll name it D admission or D admit or something like that, right? Is it okay? Okay, let me to differentiate. Let me just name it like that. D admits, that is date of admission. Enter. Then I'll name this one C form. Okay, from C form, meaning class of form. C form. Let me confirm. Date admits, date of birth is that. Perfect. Now I'll name this one ADM fee, meaning admission fee. So I'll say ADM fee, admission fee. Press enter. And then here I'll name this G name, like guardian name for short. So say G name, and guardian name, say G address, and guardian address, and then G contact, in guardian contact. And then I'll name this one other info. Okay, other info. Then I'll press enter. Perfect. Everything is good now. Just have to adjust this Alt F11 to get my code editor open. So I'll just create a module. I'll insert a module. So module here. Then I'll name my module like submit. Let me put it that way. Submit data. Oh, sorry, data. Perfect. Then I'll just double click to open the module. Perfect. It's open. So now what I need to do right now is to create a subroutine. So I'll say sub, let me just add new data still.
then answer. Perfect. Now the field is mine now. Now I'll declare my variable. So I'll just comment this and say, why do I always add this? Declaration of variables. Perfect. So I'll start with this one, the first name, come to last name, date of birth, blah 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 like that. So I'll say dim in dimension, first name, I'll just first name as what? String. It's going to be a string, right? Texting. So the first name here, what are we taking here? The data type is what? String. Okay, out of here. So I'll just copy this. Control C to copy. Control V to paste. I'll say last name also as string. Then the third one, date of birth as date. So I'll call it D of birth. Okay, I'll say dim D of birth, meaning date of birth for short. Sorry, D of birth as date. Since it's a date, dim it as date, and then dim D of admission, right? D of admit. Let me put it that way, as also what? Date. Tab it over. Then the next one is class or form. I'll call it class form. Okay, dim class from as long, because it's going to be an integer, it's a number. Okay, which in this case is a positive number. And then we have the admission fee here. So you say which is money, so it's about currency. So dim I'll call it admit fee. Okay, admit, sorry, let me just join it, admit fee as currency. Tab it over, please. You can see what I'm just doing when I'm naming my variables. I'm trying to follow the best practices. You don't leave spaces. You either use underscore to close your spaces, white spaces, or use $sign or numbers to close your white spaces. It's very important. Very, very important. Okay. Now let's go to guardian name. Okay. So I'll call it dim name GD. Yes, GD name as what? String, meaning guardian name as string. And then a GD address, dim GD address, sorry, as GD address as also a string, or it's going to be a combination of characters, address as string. And then GD contacts. Okay, after taking address, contacts, then say dim GD contact as also string. Perfect. And then the last one is what? Other info. I'll call it any other info. Okay, to differentiate it from what? The name of the range. Dim any other info as also long. Sorry, it should be a string, combination of characters. Perfect. Now the next thing I will also, let me just confirm if they are up to 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Perfect. Now the next thing I will dimension or I will declare is the worksheet, so that I wouldn't be using the name of the sheet and all that. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll say dim sh as what? Worksheets. Then just tab it over. Now the last thing I'll be dimming is what? The last row with what? The data. You know, I wouldn't be using the loop here. I'll be using I'll just determine the last row with the data, and I'll store my data. I mean, if there's data here, data, I'll just determine the last row with the data, and then add one to it, and be able to what? Get the next row without data. Then I'll store my data there. Perfect. That's what I'm going to do. So to do that, I will have to declare that particular last row before I can use it afterwards. So I'll say dim or dimension last row as long. Perfect. So I'm done declaring my variables. Now we said after declaring variables, we assign values to what? Our variables. So let's just do that. So you say assigning values to variables. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing is that we're going to start with this particular sheet, the form. Okay, we're going to assign values to all the variables here we have. So you say what with sheets. We have multiple sheets. We have just two sheets here. We're talking of the form. Okay, sheet form. We want to do something, but then let's end with before we go ahead and do whatever we want to do. Always don't forget of that. It's very, very important. Okay, we want to do something. What do you want to do? You want to assign values to these particular variables, your first name, last name, date of birth, blah blah blah. So we say what first. Let me just copy. Sorry, let me just copy this. Perfect. Control C to copy this. So first name is equal to dot range. Where should the first name be coming from? Dot range into brackets this particular range called f name. Okay, let me just copy it. Control C to copy. Come here. Control V to paste. Dot value. Okay, meaning what I'm talking about is that whatever we take here as our first name should be stored inside this variable called first name. So whenever we call this first name, then we should have that value returned to us. For example, I cited this example several times. Now this shouldn't be a problem now. So I would say Allah. Perfect. And I'll come here. I want to return what is here. I want to store it in this first name. So right now, Allah is already stored here because this range dot value is what Allah is stored inside here, first name. So if I call this message box and I say Allah and I run it, I should receive Allah as my prompt. Perfect. Oh, it didn't return that. Sorry. I should return the name of, I should call the name of the variable like first name. First name. Perfect. So if I run it, I should return Allah. Perfect. So that because Allah is what is in this range, and that has been stored inside the variable first name. So whenever I call the message first name, it should return that for me. Perfect. This is an example. Let's clear this. By now, I believe everybody is clear with all these things. So Control C to copy. Now we go to the last name. Control V to paste. Is equal to dot range. Where is that one coming from? Let me just clear this. Perfect. It's coming from this particular range. That is last name. Control C to copy dot range into bracket. Control V to paste dot value. Now we move on to date of birth. Let's Control C to copy this. Control V to paste date of birth is equal to what? Dot range. Dot range. Which of the ranges? We call this particular range D birth. Control C, Control V, and then dot value. Now move on to date of admission. Control C to copy. Okay. Control C to copy. Control V to paste dot range. Sorry, dot value. Perfect. So let's go for that particular one. That is date of admission, right? So we call this be admit. Control C. Let's come inside there and paste it. So why don't we just copy this and then okay. Let's call the after date of admission we have a class of form, right? Control C to copy, Control V to paste is equal to dot range. I just wanted to copy right and then dot range, age of the range. Sorry, dot value. Now which of the they're taking it from here? The range C form. Control C, Control V. Perfect. Oh. So it's not well copied. It's not well copied. It's not well copied. Take this. Control C to copy. Control V to paste. We have that perfectly. Now the next one is admission fee. Control C to copy this, and then Control V dot dot range into brackets dot value. Admission fee is coming from here. Control C to copy. Control V to paste perfectly. Now after admission fee, we have guardian name. Control C to copy. Control V to paste, and it's equal to dot range into brackets guardian name. The range is for G name. C. Control V dot value. Then we have guardian address, G address. Control C to copy this. Control V to copy this. Sorry. Holy shit. Copy this. Then it's equal to Control V to paste dot range. I need this guardian address, G address, paste there dot value. My mouse is missing up here. Control C to copy. Control V to paste, and just Control C to copy guardian contact. Control V to paste this, and then G contact. Control C to copy. Control V to paste dot value. Perfect. Now the last one is any other info, right? So just Control C to copy this. Control V to paste. And you can then edit this. Control C to copy any other info. Control V to paste, and go to the range. Other info. Control C to copy. Control V to paste the value. Perfect. Think, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Perfect. We have assigned values to all our variables now. So now the next thing is we need to determine the last row with the data on this particular sheet, that is the database sheet. So to do that, we say what? Let's comment on that. So you say determining the last row with data and adding 1 2 to get the next row without data. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Without data. Good. So with this, anytime you come back to your source code, you know what is happening. With the comment, you'll be able to determine what each and every section or line of code does. Perfect. So let's do that. Let's write it. Just go for it. So we said we've already declared it here as what? Long. We say last row. So you say now we need to assign a value to say last row is equal to what? Is equal to sheet. Which of the sheet are we talking about? It's going to happen on this particular sheet called database. Okay. Sorry. Database. Now I won't close the bracket for database. Okay, database dot range. Which of the range? The range is here, the first column. We're going to take the first column. Okay, dot range, column A. Then we're going to concatenate it to what? Rows dot count function. Rows dot count function into bracket dot end into bracket Excel app. Okay, dot row plus plus 1. Like I've already explained this line of code. Now what we are saying is that the last row, which we've already deemed as long, is just a number. Now why is it long? Because it's just a number, okay? Because the numbers, the rows are numbered, okay? 1, 2, 3. So the last one is what we are setting to. It's on what? Sheet. Which of the sheet? Database. Which of the range the first column, and then the number of rows. Dot end Excel app. Start checking from what? The top up to the last row with the data. Then you go ahead and do what? Add 1 to it. So after that, then we then go after determining that particular row, and we then go ahead and do something. Okay, so that is that. Now that we are able to, with this line of code, it will, with whether we have data from whatever to whatever, it will determine the last row without data, and then be ready to take our inputs. Perfect. That is that. Now after that, we need to what? Write to our database sheet. I mean, take the information, the data from the form to what? The sheet now. With the empty row available for us now, we need to do that. So why don't we comment and say writing to, or taking the data. Okay, what we are doing is writing to that. So writing to database sheet. Okay, that's our comment. So to do that, we say what? With sheets. Sorry, sheets. Which of the sheets? Database. Okay, then we say end with. Don't forget, if you leave it, say you go back, and then when you get to the end you add it, sometimes you may skip it. We want to do something. Okay, when the last row is determined, we want to take the cells within that row and then store our data from the form. The way we enter it from the form, we want to store it in that order, like first name first, last name, date of birth, date of admission, class, admission fee, blah blah blah, like that. So how do we do that? Let's see how we can do that. So it's a dot cells into brackets. Then the cells on what? Last row. That is a row without what? Data. Column 1. Okay, into brackets. Dot value is equal to what? I'll explain this. Sorry. Let's copy this. Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. Perfect. Now what we are saying is that after determining the last row without data, so now we want to write or store our data now. So how do we store it? We say what? Dot cells. The cells, meaning the cells on that particular row, that is the last row in the first column, this particular column. Okay, dot value, the value of that particular column should be what? First name. That is what we are saying. So with this, if I should go to the form right now, let me just right click on this, and there's a assign macro, add new, and then take this. If I should just write something here like king, if I run this, it should submit king to this particular sheet for me. Perfect. You see that? That is that. Now we need to copy this and paste for the rest. So that is that. Let me just put it for now. Good. So you just copy this, Control C to copy it, and then you can paste it 9 times to add to this one to get 10. Okay, so let's do that. 1, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfectly. So here, the last row, second one, meaning this particular row now, second row, third, fourth, fifth, in that order, the columns. The first one is the first column, 2 is the second column, 3, third column, in that order. So edit it up to what? The 10th column. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Now the second row, what should be the data there? It should be last name, right? So just copy it, Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. The third one, what should it be? Date of birth, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I mean, the third one is the date of birth. You should understand that. Fourth one, date of admission. Okay, of admission. Fifth one, class of form. Control C, Control V. Sixth one, admission fee. Control V. Admission fee. Sixth one, guardian name. Guardian name. Seventh one, guardian address. Guardian address. Eighth one, copy guardian contact. Guardian contact. And the last one, any other info. Let's copy it. Any other info. Perfect. Now with this, if we should go to our form, okay, if we should go to our form and enter that data, it's going to be taken perfectly to the various let's just check. Okay, let's do this. Decrease this small bit. Okay, yeah, Baba Yakub, date of birth 10 10 20, sorry, 2019. Date of admission 21st 10 2020. Class of form 3. Admission fee 200 cedis. Guardian name King Rash. Address J/16. Contacts. Any other info? None. Submit. Let's check here. So we have everything here perfectly. All the ranges. If you like, you can center so you can see that everything is there perfectly. Has taken everything perfect. So that is that. Now our next line of action is this. We need to prepare the form for what? Next line of action. Okay. So to do that now, with this, you can see that anytime we submit, it will not send us to the other one. So we don't need to even activate this one again. But in a situation where after submission you realize that you are switched to this form, you can say anytime I submitted the same data. And in that case, you would have to make sure that this sheet is activated immediately after submission. Okay, so in that case, we can still do that just to make sure of what we're doing. So we'll say what after end if we say sheet 1 dot which of the sheet 1 will activate, carried over. So that is that. So with this, it will activate the sheet 1. Now the next line of action is this. We need to clear this particular ranges here and prepare the form for the next input. Okay, so you know what to do with that. So it's a sheet, but you can summarize our codes. Okay, it's on sheet 1. So sheet 1 dot range, sorry, dot range, each of the range. Now we are going to take this together, and then this together. So dot range, we are starting with what? F name dot range F name. Sorry, what am I doing? Just undo this action. Sorry, dot range, this particular range. Okay, control C to copy this. Control V to paste. Dot range F name through to what? The last one, which is what? C form, this one. Control C to copy through to what? C form. Control V to paste. Dot. I'll explain what I've just done. It's clear content, but it looks different from what we've done. Clear content. Oh, okay. Let's close this and then I'm done. Now what I've just done is this. Instead of me saying sheet 1 dot range F name clear content, sheet 1 dot range last name clear content, which is too boring and the code should be too plenty. Okay, so I just have to combine this range from F name through to what? C form. You can do that. Okay, it's perfect. So now if I should run this, say that this one is clear, remaining this one, so we can do that as well. So we can just copy this Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So here the ranges are what? Admission fee. The first range is admission fee. So it's like have AD fee. Is that it? Is that the name of the range? Please let me confirm very well so that I don't. Let me copy it from here to make sure. That's all you do. Just copy it. Admission fee, and then the last one is what? Other info. Control C to copy. Paste. Control V to paste. Now, if we should run this to clear this one as well. Perfect. So now let's go back here and check. Everything is intact. Can still clear this and then re-enter different things. So clear contents. Perfect. Come back to our form now. Let's see. James Adu was for 500 Adu John address who I don't even know airports, sorry, airport area. Okay, this contact info, any other info, I'll say personal, leave that to me. Then we submit, is cleared, and then the form is now prepared for another input. Submitted here. So that is that. So that is that for the solution to assignment. So however, I don't know how you have done yours. Provided what you've done, you can still take the input just after. That's what you just see me doing. Just take it and then store it here. You have no problem. It can be that you use the loop method. It can be that you use the other methods. I don't know which of the methods that you think is accurate for you. Then we'll do that. So I think we are done with this. So I say thank you very much for watching till our next lesson where we're going to deal with data mapping, which is going to help us summarize all this into just simple, very short. You can see now, count all these lines of code. If you count them, if I'm right, they will be approximately 1, 2, 3, whatever. Here alone is something like 12, 13, another 10 here, 20 something, another 10 here, 30 something, another almost, let's say, 40 lines of codes. We can put them into 10 lines of codes in data mapping here. We'll do that. That will be our next line of action. So till then, thank you so much for watching and bye for now. The reason why we are doing all this is that sometimes data mapping might not work in some cases, and I'll be explaining that, okay, when we get there. That is why we need to go for all these situations. Whichever that present itself, you should be able to work or find your way around it. So till our next lesson, say thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. I can save your work.